Hello everybody, I hope you are having a fabulous day. Today I'm going to be building a kind of shop build, I guess you could say. It's a florist build, so it's like there's obviously a lot of flowers. But I wanted to do kind of a I guess it's a shop build. It's a build that you could use for as a to sell things, something like that. I didn't really want to do a house build, but it's sort of halfway turned into it. But then at the same time, it's kind of for the convenience of the user, because I know that when I use the get to work stuff where you can like own shops and everything, I know that I have a tendency to just go ahead and build like an area either in the basement or up top where I kind of use as my living quarters, so I don't have to go back and forth and travel as much. So it was originally supposed to be an entire like florist build at like only flowers. Like upstairs was going to be like this awesome like greenhouse area, stuff like that. I had these really cool ideas, and then as I was going along and doing all this build stuff, I realized that I kind of used all the flowers and I didn't want to do like super repeats everywhere. And so I decided to keep everything to the shop on the base level and outside, because it is a florist build. You got to have stuff outside. You got to have like trees and larger plants and things and bushes outside. So I kept everything shop based on the main bottom floor. And then I made the top portion a living kind of area. So it's kind of like a studio apartment where you have like kitchen and like little living room, and everything's really small and everything's in one basic room. You'll see as we get later on in the video. So yeah, it was originally supposed to be like epic greenhouse up top. Like I was going to use those like skylight things up top, but it didn't work out. And that's okay. You know, buildings change as you play around with and create them. If everything stayed the same when I originally had to what I had originally planned, it probably wouldn't have worked out very well. So yeah. So anyway, in the back I decided to make a fence around the outside, as you saw earlier. And the reason for that is because I know a lot of times you don't really have to mess with fences, but I figured since this was a like shop build and like you would own like the building and everything, you wouldn't want somebody to, I guess in theory, come in and steal like your plants, or like, oh, I'm going to go poison the plants because I don't like this person, blah blah blah, get my revenge because my flowers are better than yours, that kind of thing. I didn't want to have to deal with any of that. So I just I put a nice fence around it. And I also tried really hard to kind of match the area of Windenburg, because I wanted it to kind of have that old shoppy feel, like it's kind of been renovated, or maybe the family's lived here a long time and it's kind of been passed down for generations. Not that it really looks super lived in, but or maybe somebody bought it and they've renovated the top or made it into a florist shop. I don't know, something. It's been here a while. It wasn't like built like last week to be super modern and everything. So I tried really hard to make it fit in. And this is actually the first time that I've actually built with those kind of panel things, siding things on the outside, because I've always seen them, but I've like too intimidated to actually like work with them. So I kind of just leave them alone. And so down here, I was trying to figure out how to fit in a bathroom, because I definitely wanted to have a bathroom that was accessible to guests, because if you've done like any kind of major work with or played around with the whole shop thing, it doesn't really work that well if you don't have bathrooms downstairs, because then it just helps a lot. And so I originally wanted to try to have like a male and female bathroom, but then I really thought about it and I was like, okay, this is a small shop. This isn't like some epic IKEA or something. And so there really just needs to be one universal bathroom. It really doesn't matter. Plus I didn't really have a ton of space, and I wanted to keep the hallway to the upstairs area kind of secret, because this was still at the stage point where I was going to have like, that's where I guess you kept your extra storage of flowers, or that's where they were growing upstairs, things like that. Like you had the new buds that are just growing upstairs and all these pots upstairs, something like that. And you can still do that. Definitely you can change it up. I don't really care. I kind of like to see what people do and how they change stuff in my build. So feel free. And before I get too far along, this is available to download on the, what do you call it? The gallery. The gallery. I was going to say shop, and I'm like, no, it's not a shop. The gallery, it's available to download, and so feel free to download it. Have fun with it. So I'm thinking I might do like a let's play with this, because this is really Sorry about that. I had to cut real quick because of dogs barking. Thank you very much, dog. And so, anyway, where was I? I don't remember. It probably wasn't super important. I remember. I was thinking about maybe using this for a Let's Play because I really like it, and it would be really cool to like maybe have a Let's Play where we like maybe try to build like, I don't know, something like a small florist shop, and then you have like maybe a carpenter shop where you had to make everything, and or like a bakery, a small bakery, or a coffee shop, and then like maybe like 5 different, I guess, mini shops you would make. Maybe like a small, I don't know, furniture store, small clothing store. I don't know. It might be kind of interesting. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see, I guess. But I kind of like that idea. So I like the idea of running shops, and I like running shops. But I don't know. We'll find out. I'll think about it. See what I think. And so here I decided, since it was kind of a florist shop and everything, I kind of decided to think, okay, well, this is the florist person. They sell flowers, but they maybe also sell like teas or something, herbal stuff. I don't know. Healthy stuff, green stuff, some stuff good for you. And they maybe have like a little cafe, like a tea bar, I guess, or something you could buy a drink or something, or like a tea or something, or like maybe a small biscuit or bread or something kind of small. It kind of did the whole countertop thing in one. So I thought that might be kind of interesting. Instead of having everything be just like 100% floral. And like, I know that's not necessarily super realistic because most florist shops are just like florists. And also like the whole like heat stuff from like the oven and all that kind of stuff probably isn't good for the flowers. But this is a sim, so I can take a little bit of liberty. And also because I was trying to figure out, I kind of wanted to do more of a counter instead of just a register in the back because that's not really realistic. So I decided to go with that whole barista thing. And plus I think you can hire people to work that, so you don't have to work it yourself. So that might be convenient. You can have like a mini employee that is sort of your employee, but not really. So I don't know. And so here is the long process of decorating all of the flowers. And so I kind of kept it to like a shop kind of feel. So instead of just having like one item, just one plant for each one, I kind of did different varieties, because normally when you go into a flower shop, there won't be just one yellow rose to choose from. There'll be like 30. And granted, I don't want to put 30 roses in here. So I kind of stuck to like groups of 3 for the shelves, and then larger groups and you'll see later on. But just kind of add some variety. Plus it adds some color, and some of them, it's not just the pot that changes colors. If they have flowers, some of them the flower changes. So that was kind of nice. So you have like, you can choose from a red vase with blue roses or a white vase with green roses and things like that. Oh, and sorry about that. That part right there, I'm actually going to cut it out, so you're not even going to see it. But I was having some camera issues, and I finally figured it out. I have been having this issue, and I really haven't dealt with it. It's the whole, when you hit 9 on your keyboard to move things up and down on shelves and everything, because these are all items that don't actually automatically go on shelves, which, let me tell you, is really annoying because they're fine. Size-wise, look, they're fine. They will fit. They will go on the shelf, but they won't. You have to manually drag them up, as you see I'm doing. But anyway, I've been having the whole camera issue where if you hit 9, it'll drag you someplace else and in the world and everything. And I was just like, okay, I can't handle this, because the other ones haven't been too bad. I've been able to just kind of move the item with me and drag up and down. But for some reason, when I was building on this lot, it would drag me to a different lot, the one next door, and turn me, and I couldn't edit anything. I was like, okay, want to something? I'm gonna fix this. So I went in and fixed it and everything. And if you want to find out how to fix it, you can just Google it real quick. I might maybe put up a tutorial if people really want to know, but it's not super hard to fix. It's not super hard to fix. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I was saying it correctly. So, but yeah, mostly these were just ones that their pots changed colors. So, and like, it's kind of hard to do like decoration with florist stuff because one, it's a lot of flowers, and two, it's a lot of green. So that's why I didn't do like green in like the wallpaper or the flooring or anything. I kind of stuck to a brown. I thought about doing tile because like in theory that would be like the easiest to like sweep up if there was like dirt or something, or if a plant dropped or something, you could just sweep up the dirt. But I decided, since I was kind of going with this whole like this shop has been here a while and it's either been refurbished or what, but they've kept the floors and maybe just like repainted the walls. They've kept like the borders and everything. I don't know. I have a tendency to default to brown tones because I like and creams because I like the tones, and it adds a homey feel in my opinion. So yeah, so I hope you guys like it. And so now we have I decided, it was kind of hard to, that was a whole lot of sentences trying to come out at once, and it didn't work. So I'm going to try again. Picture-wise, there are a couple pictures throughout. A lot of it was just kind of trying to figure out which pictures fit, because I had to choose between, do I want them to be flower-oriented in this already massively flowered room, or do I want them to be kind of weird and abstract? And in the end, I kind of went with, like, flowers, and like somebody was like kind of artistic with them, things like that, because I felt like they fit a little bit better than like just having random shapes on the wall. Nothing against artistic art, but I just didn't feel like it fit in this build. And so there I was just kind of stuffing stuff under the vases and everything. And here I was trying to figure out what kind of table to use. I really like that like coffee table thing that has grass underneath, but I thought for a hot second to maybe use it, but then I was like, no, let's not. So, and there, I really like those pedestals. I just wish that there were more than 3 of them, so I kind of added my own. And I wish they had more, like, I wish that those 3 pedestals, they existed alone, so that you could, like, stack, like, make, like, a massive, almost wall of all of them at different heights and levels and everything. That would be really cool. So, but alas, it does not exist. So here, just kind of figuring out what plants actually go on tables, and figuring out, for the most part, most plants do pretty good about going on tables. Oh, and here there were all these kind of plants that were more twig-like, and I felt like they didn't really kind of fit in with the rest of the build. Like, everything else is so leafy and green and like flowers, and I really do like them, but they're more twig-like, a little more abstract and artistic. And so I decided to kind of stick them over in their own little corner, but it's not really a corner because they still get to be showcased and everything. So this is kind of their moment to shine, while still not, I guess, disrupting from the flow of the build, from the flow of the room and everything, because it kind of disrupts a little bit, because you have flowers, and then abstract kind of leaves and branches and everything. So, but I do really like those plants, and I like using them, but I just felt for this build it would be better if they were showcased in their own way, instead of trying to cram them into like a weird spot with the rest of the stuff. And so here, this is kind of like, when you walk into like the like grocery store or something, like Hy-Vee or Price Chopper, Hen House, whatever you have, and there's that area that has flowers, little flower area, and it'll be like the freezer area. Well, they don't really have a freezer thing here, so what I did was I kind of stuffed a whole bunch of them in the underneath. You kind of have like the showcase one, and then like in the back they might have more and something like that. That's kind of the theory I kind of went behind. Maybe you could like pretend like maybe underneath the tables is like it's all refrigerated, things like that, and then up top is the one that they're showing for the day or something like that. I don't really know. So, but I use it kind of more as storage because I wanted it to look full and like you were growing a lot of things and being really successful as a florist. And I really felt like it would add more color, and then underneath the tables wouldn't be so empty, because otherwise you just would have like 3 flower showcases on each table and it would be really empty and boring. And so this just adds, let me tell you, so much like detail. So, and here just adding a couple of wall plants. I was trying to decide if I wanted to put those outside or inside, and I ended up kind of doing a little bit of both. Those are the ones that I stuck inside, and then the other hanging ones, the ones that kind of hang out and the flowers are like in a pot hanging, those kind of go outside. And then I added more tables because I had more stuff to kind of put everywhere. It was kind of difficult, but I kind of knew that I wanted to do something along the middle because there wasn't enough space on the sides because I wanted to do a lot of shelves. So that's kind of got a little bit of, you kind of have a little bit of flow. People can still walk around pretty easily. But now just kind of layering all the different plants and then changing all the colors and everything. So yeah, but that way you can kind of look and see the different flowers and everything and kind of see what it looks like. And then, like, let's say you see one underneath that you like, but that you like maybe the pot color better, or let's say the one showcased is like a green hydrangea or something and you want a blue one, things like that. So, and yes, I am just a little bit of a flower nerd, not too much, but I do like flowers. But the problem with me is that for a long, long time, I was really, really allergic to flowers. And so I still am. Like lilies, oh my goodness. Easter is a really bad time to like walk in anywhere and like have lilies everywhere. My nose goes nuts. So anyway, that's a story for another day. So, but I think we're just finishing up inside for the most part. Then I go out to the backyard and try to figure out. I kind of had a little bit of trouble figuring out what to do because I wanted it to be larger plants and bushes. And near the end, I kind of ran out of stuff that I have because I don't have all the packs. This would have been a great build to do if I had the what's it called? The romantic garden set, the one that comes with a ton of flowers. So if you feel free to like exchange different flowers and stuff for different things, because I know that there's way more in that one, but I just don't have that pack. And so I had this idea to do this and I was like, oh, I really want to do this. So I was like, okay, I guess I just have to work with what I have. So it all works out. It still looks pretty nice. And once again, dog. So, we love them. We really do. But sometimes no. But anyway, I wanted to put like more trees in the back, but one, it really didn't fit with the whole vibe of Windenburg because Windenburg is a lot of concrete and it's kind of shoreline, so it's not really tree-esque. And the other thing is I wanted there to be smaller trees. Like let's say like in the back you could have like small trees to choose from, like pine trees or things like that. But the problem is The Sims doesn't really have any small trees. These are like their small trees, the ones that are in their the pots and everything. And they're not really even trees. And it's like, guys, I need like small trees. And like the one I ended up putting in the ground is like one of the smallest ones besides the one that I ended up putting in the pot. So I wanted to put more trees, but there just wasn't any, so I ended up kind of doing a lot more repeats of like larger plants, things like that. And then I took some of the like flowers and things like the rose bushes and like purple flower bushes and everything and put them in like a planter. And anyway, you'll see later on, but it'd be a really cool idea to actually put like seeds and stuff so you could like sell vegetables or fruits and stuff. That would be cool. Or like to have like, there are like apple trees and everything, so you could put like substitute something out and put a row of apple trees or something in there. That'd be really cool. But I didn't want to try to mess with like the whole no, that's Sims 3. The whole sheet and everything where you can get like all the stuff. I didn't know how that would transfer to the gallery and everything, so I was like, I'll just stick with items instead of like special items because I just was like, okay, let's just not mess with that today. And so here, just kind of playing around and kind of just trying to figure out exactly how everything to order. You wouldn't think it would be that hard to really figure out how to like build a florist shop, but it's because there's so many plants that it gets a little redundant after a while and very repetitive. And so you kind of have to figure out creative ways to kind of order things and stack things so it's not like boring and repetitive, because that kind of feels like how I'm talking right now, boring and repetitive. But yeah, here are the planters and everything, but it'd be really cool to like do something like put like a whole bunch of like, I don't know, chilies or I don't know, something in there. And I also wanted to include the cactus, whatever, succulents in here. And so I kind of built like a mini cacti garden, whatever it's called, cacti garden. And then the other ones are just kind of larger plants and everything. Maybe like that's where you go to like pick like, like there's baby's breath in like a lot of the floral arrangements and everything. Maybe you have like an abundance of baby's breath, or you have an abundance of like massive hydrangeas or something like lilac, and somebody just wants maybe a couple stems of lilac. You just go outside and pick them, or that's where you get your fresh roses or something. I don't know. A little bit of make believe in this one because it's just a lot of items. But you could definitely put all of these items up for sale and just sell them and use them that way, which would be really cool. So, and I will say it will take you probably quite a while to actually list everything. And so here was kind of where I was deciding. I kind of realized that the whole flower garden thing up here wouldn't work. Now, you can definitely change it and make it into like one of those potted garden things and like actually grow things. Like you could actually grow the flowers that you can find, like seeds and everything for, and like all the fruits and vegetables and things like that. And you could definitely make it a potting thing up here, and maybe even like add like another level upstairs or something, or like down and below, have that be where you live. I don't know, but this is a studio apartment. There's only 2 rooms, the bathroom and the rest of the room. So, if you had more than one sim, I would highly recommend that you like add on to this build and maybe make it so that you have either a 3rd floor or a basement be where you actually live, and then you could make this be, as I was saying earlier, like the actual growing room. But because I didn't really want to mess with how the whole like seed things worked and everything, and I wanted to look full. I didn't want it to be just like, oh look, there's a little dirt in the ground and you can grow it, because that looks kind of boring. And it's like, well, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but I just didn't really like the appeal of it for a build, but definitely for playing it, like a Let's Play or something, I would probably definitely change this. But yeah, so you kind of have your little bedroom, your little itty bitty kitchen, a little dining room that only has 2 chairs, and a nice living room. Well, okay, a living room set with a nice TV. And I really wanted to fit that hipsters, is that what it's called? The hipsters couch in there, because that's probably my favorite couch because it looks the comfiest to me. But I thought it was too wide, and ended up being 3, and I just didn't like the look of the 3 wide couches, and so I went with like the love seat thing. So here, just kind of trying to make it a little more homey by putting in pictures, looked a little more lived in. But it's all very smooshed. So, yeah, and like, as I said, you could only really have one sim here unless you like rotated out sleeping arrangements, because there's only one bed and it's a single bed. So, it's not really family friendly. But then again, it's kind of the whole mentality again of as this lot was refurbished, or this house was refurbished into a shop, or it's been a shop for a long time for like maybe somebody who has a green thumb and they kind of live by themselves and they don't really have a lot. They're kind of like, I guess, a little bit hermit-esque, if you will. But you could definitely make it more family friendly. So, and here, just trying to figure, I decided to keep most of the lights downstairs. No, I kept all the lights downstairs, being those strobe lights, because I felt like as a shop, it would be more lit up, and as a florist, you kind of have bright lights in there so you can see everything. So, I'm just kind of doing a couple last minute details and everything to the outside, because I realized it was very green in the back, but the front was kind of empty. But at the same time, I didn't want to put too much stuff in the front, because I wanted it to be similar, again, to how the rest of the builds are. And so just kind of I added a sidewalk this time, and then just do some terrain painting and everything to make it look a little bit more like people kind of walk through here and everything. And then I realized here that my terrain paint wasn't even on. I thought the lowest setting still worked, but no. But just kind of making it more lived in, put some like kind of dirt texture, things like that. Like people actually walked through it, would be walking through and everything. So, but yeah, and here we have the screenshots. But yeah, I'm trying out new screenshot stuff where I use the tab camera, and it works. I really like it so far, and the pictures look so much better. So as you can see, everything's very smooshed and very lived in, very warm. I really think that the wall paint really adds to that, the whole warm feeling of a lot of the build. And so, yeah. So once again, this is available to download on the gallery. And it was a lot of fun to build. Like, it got to be about halfway through and I was like, okay, do I really want to continue? Because it was a lot of repetition. But I'm really glad. I'm glad I kind of had the idea to do it, because I really like these small shop builds. They're really fun. And so this is a small lot, so you could always put it on a bigger lot and have more plants and everything. So that might be really cool. But yeah, I think that's it. And I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!